Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Ichiway Nostalgia here, and today I want to talk to you guys about Metal Gear Online. I want to talk about the history of Metal Gear Online, and I also want to take time to talk about Metal Gear Online 3, the upcoming installment for Metal Gear Solid 5. So to start things off, I'm going to go back into the past a bit here and talk about the original Metal Gear Online. Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence came out in March 2006, and with it we got a new camera angle for the game. But more importantly, in my opinion, we got Metal Gear Online for the very first time, and it was kind of odd. A lot of things about Metal Gear Solid are kind of strange. I think fans are used to that. They're used to that Hideo Kojima strangeness. So when they brought out Metal Gear Online, it was kind of a surprise. But at that time, online gaming was just really starting to pick up speed, especially on consoles. I mean, we had already had it on PC for a while, but with consoles we had things like Halo coming online, we had SOCOM online, and yeah, I guess they felt like they just wanted to take a shot at it. And I've heard from a lot of people that this was kind of like a beta. They wanted to try it out before they brought it into Metal Gear Solid 4. I don't know if that's truthful or not, but in my opinion, I had more fun with this than I did with Metal Gear Solid 4 Online. For some reason, I don't know if it was the maps, something about it, I just liked it more. It had a very different feeling that I can't quite put my finger on. I guess it felt a little bit more like traditional Metal Gear, whereas the fourth one, Metal Gear Solid 4 Online, had more of like an army feeling, like you were in the middle of a war. This felt more like just kind of stealthy guerrilla tactics, I guess, is the best way I could describe it. But it was clunky, and that's one of the things. The people who played Metal Gear Online were hardcore. You were hardcore into it. If you weren't, you just didn't play it. And there weren't a whole hell of a lot of people playing it. At first there was, but as time went on, the numbers dropped off pretty quickly, and I do remember the rooms being pretty barren. There weren't a lot of people playing. I did play it until it closed down, which I believe it stayed open for about a year, maybe a little over a year, closer to 2 years. It wasn't online for very long, and I remember being very upset when it was taken down, because it was right around the same time Capcom had shut down the Monster Hunter servers. So, also they had recently shut down Resident Evil, the Outbreak server. So at this point I was starting to feel like, oh shit, all the original stuff that I really enjoyed is being shut down. So it was upsetting. And I think the most fun I had with it was the capture missions, where you went around and you captured the frog. I can't remember the name of the frog. There was a certain name for it. But Keratin, yeah, I knew it was a K. It had something to do with K. But it was just a lot of fun. And the game was more slow-paced than things like SOCOM. I was really, really big into SOCOM at this time. But it had more of a slow-paced feeling to it. And it felt like whoever readied their gun first was the one who got the kill. So it did have a bit of a slow pace and a clunky feel to it. It was never really meant to go online, but it's something that they tried out. And if you were a diehard fan, you were definitely playing this. Now, there was a game mode where you could play as Snake, and others would try to hunt you down, and it would rotate, I think, based on performance, who got to play as Snake. And it was fun, but I liked the capture objectives more. And I also liked playing as Revolver Ocelot, because he could shoot around corners and stuff. His bullets would bounce around. So that's probably what I remember the most about it. But I do look back fondly on it, and I miss it. So now we fast forward to June 2008, and Metal Gear Solid 4 had just come out. This is a game that I have mixed feelings about. I view it as probably the weakest in the Metal Gear Solid history. But to be fair, I don't really recall much of it, and that probably speaks volumes about it, because for some reason it just did not pull me in. I am going to be going through it again and playing it again. I'm going to be getting the collection, so I don't know if that'll change my opinion about it, but I'm definitely going to be checking it out again. Now, Metal Gear Solid 4 Online, like I said, that had more of like a military feel to it, like you were in an actual war, because that was kind of the theme of Metal Gear Solid 4 anyways, so it had that feeling to it. And I didn't play this that much, to be completely honest. I know there was a leveling system, and I don't believe Metal Gear Solid 3 had that, I'm not certain. It's been a long time, so you'll have to forgive me. But I know there was different things you could level up, like your CQC and your weapons and stuff like that, and you had an overall leveling system. There was also an event on weekends where people could level up in different ways. I can't remember the details about it, but all in all, this version of the game, this version of Metal Gear Online, it felt a bit more polished, like a little bit more action-oriented, a little bit more fluid. Things were more fleshed out. But I don't know, for some reason I just didn't get into this as much. Maybe it was the maps. I loved the maps in Metal Gear Solid 3 Online. I absolutely loved them. And this was more of like an urban style thing. I don't think they had as many maps. I do remember some really good sniping I had in this game, especially on the rooftops. But all in all, I didn't play it that much, and I kind of regret that. I definitely regret that, looking back on it now, because it was shut down in 2012. It stayed open for 4 years, stayed open longer than Metal Gear Solid 3 Online did, and it seems like whenever a new Metal Gear Online comes out, they shut the previous one down. Now, Peace Walker, I can't really comment on that at all because I have not played it. I'm not certain if that's still online or not, but if it is, I am interested in playing it. I will be getting that with the collection, so I'll be checking that out. I think there were a couple of maps from Metal Gear Solid 3 that carried over into this one. Maybe it was just one map. Like I said, it's been a long time, but this was fun. But sadly, I didn't engage in it enough, and part of the reason why I didn't was because I sold my PlayStation 3 like a dumbass, and by the time I ended up getting one back, it was too late. It was shut down. Now, there are private servers for this, I've heard, but I don't know the details, and with Metal Gear Online coming out, Metal Gear Online 3 coming out, I don't see the point in really going back and messing around with this at all. It always sucks when a game is shut down, but to be fair, this was never really too terribly popular. There were those die-hard fans out there, and I do sympathize with you guys for that. It always sucks when a game that you play online gets shut down. This lasted 4 years, so that's not too bad, but by today's standards, that's really not that good. I think the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare is still online. Games that came out a long time ago. I think the servers are still online for a lot of those games, if not all of them. I'm not certain, but hopefully Metal Gear Online 3 stays online for a good while, at least until we get the next installment, because this was shut down in 2012, and here we are in 2015, and Metal Gear Online 3 still isn't out. So there's a bit of a gap there, unless you got into Peace Walker, which was on PSP, and then later we got the HD editions for 360 and PS3. So yeah, there's a little bit of a history lesson for Metal Gear Online for you guys. But now it's time to move on to the meat and potatoes of this video, the upcoming Metal Gear Online 3. So we don't really know too much about Metal Gear Online 3, but this trailer gives us a pretty decent idea of what's going to be in the game. You can see there's a lot of customization options here, which is really good. You can also see that you're able to play as Snake, which everybody was pretty sure that was going to happen anyways. Snake, Big Boss, Venom Snake, Naked Snake, whatever you want to call him, you will be able to play as him. I'm pretty sure it's going to randomly assign it to somebody, but it might go based off of performance with the previous game. And I do believe that's how it worked in previous Metal Gear Online installments. Also, we will be seeing more characters like Ocelot because we can see him in the trailer. You can see there he's throwing this tracking device which tags everybody on the screen. And the puppy that they put down, that's going to be used to distract other players, which was something that we've seen in other Metal Gears in the form of the Dirty Magazine. But what's most striking to me about this is that it looks a lot more fast-paced than what we've seen in other Metal Gear Online installments. And that comes naturally considering that this game is more fast-paced anyways in its single-player campaign. You can see there was a Fault in Mind device there, which is going to add some pretty cool teamwork to the game. If somebody doesn't shoot that down, I'm pretty sure you're screwed. I don't think you're just going to hang there. It'll probably take you out of the battlefield and you'll have to respawn. I'm not certain if there's going to be respawn. I'm pretty certain there will be respawn mode, but I'm thinking they're going to have a mode where you're out and you're out, just like kind of like classic SOCOM, which I really hope that's the case because I will be playing that pretty much extensively. Exclusively, I should say, rather. And this coordinated stuff we're seeing here from teams, Obviously, they're just trying to showcase what the game can do. It's going to be rare that you get into a game that functions like that. And as you can see, there are going to be walkers online. So that's going to add a whole new dynamic to Metal Gear Online. We haven't seen anything like that yet. That's going to pretty much function as like a tank, and that thing is probably going to be able to turn the tide of battle. And you can see Snake teleporting behind him. That's going to be something that's also going to be really cool to do online. Now, I'm not certain if the maps are going to be much bigger. You would assume that they would be just because of the open world nature of the game, but I'm pretty certain we're not going to be playing in an open world in this. I can just assume that the game is going to have more of an open feel to it, maybe bigger maps. But the action in this is definitely way above what we've seen in Metal Gear Solid Online 1 and 2. This is going to be absolutely insane, and I can't wait for it to come out. And you can see right there, he does have a melee attack to deal with people with shields. And as you can see, we have a sandstorm happening here. So that tells me that we're going to be seeing those online as well. I'm pretty certain there's going to be different times of day. I think that's going to be something that people can decide before a match begins. Matches probably won't last too terribly long, but yeah, you can see we do have Revolver Ocelot here. Like I said, there's definitely going to be key characters. I don't know if they'll let you play as Raiden and characters like that as well. Stuff like that might come out later as DLC. I'm not certain how that's going to function, but you would assume that they would have all the quote-unquote heroes from the game. This is really cool here. The selfie that you're able to take of people as you're owning them. That's going to be really cool. You can probably upload that to Facebook and bust people's balls. So we've got a lot of really cool stuff coming out for this that just completely changes things up. This is definitely a way different experience from what we saw with Metal Gear Online 1 and 2, and I'm very happy about that because I did enjoy those games. And like I said, I didn't play Metal Gear Online 2 that much, but they did have more of a clunky feeling to them, and they just didn't feel as suited for online play. This looks like it's a lot more suited for online play, and it's just gonna, I think it's gonna be really popular. I really do. I think this is gonna be the first Metal Gear Online that just takes off. And it does look like we have an 8-man team here, so 8 versus 8 is probably going to be the standard. I also like the fact that you can use your binoculars to tag enemies. So you're going to be having a lot of people doing that, and it's probably going to lead to a lot of camping. People aren't going to want to stick their head out and get tagged. So I don't know how I feel about that. There might be a lot too much camping going on because of that system. People are going to be trying to avoid that, but I don't know. I mean, with third-person games, you tend to have a lot of camping anyways. If you take a look at the SOCOM series, people love to camp corners, and they love to camp the walls. But then again, we have that in online shooters anyway. I mean, look at Call of Duty and Battlefield. People still camp in first-person shooters. It seems like something that they would do more in third-person shooters because you just have that that visual awareness around corners a lot better. But in this, with the ability to tag people, I'm thinking that camping is going to be something that people do a lot. But yeah, it could be an issue. I don't think it'll be anything too terrible. The game just looks amazing, and I am so hyped to play it. Unfortunately, PC users have to wait until January to play online. PC users, I'm sorry, we got the shaft on this one. I don't know if they're working things out, what's taking so long, but yeah, it's going to be a little while. Console users, you're getting this in October, so you can go ahead and rub that in the PC Master Race's face. I know a lot of us deserve it for busting your balls all the time. Yeah, you're getting the game before us. You're getting to play it online before we do. But damn it, there's hope that maybe it'll come out a little bit earlier. Who knows? We don't know. The official word, from what I understand, is January. Hopefully no later than that. Hopefully it doesn't get pushed any further back. So there you have it, guys. A little bit of Metal Gear Online history and a little bit of hype for the future. Cannot wait to play this. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section. If you like this video, please take a moment to rate it thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, I ask that you please subscribe. I will be covering this game extensively in the future. I thank you all for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.